Welcome to National Focus. I'm Pearl Fontaine. Topping the headlines, work at an advanced stage on the new State House project. Dominica's head of state impressed with improvements in health services, and the Ben's water project is nearing completion. All these stories and more when National Focus returns.
You're watching GIS. Documentaries and in-depth discussions, community walkthroughs, and Yes We Care. See it all on GIS, Channel 7.
Welcome back. After a year and a half of extensive work, one of the most distinctive modern buildings on the Roseau skyline is nearing completion. Shanghai Construction Group is wrapping up work on the new State House project. The project, which involves a residence for the country's head of state, administrative offices, a utility building, an electoral office and car park facilities, is now 90% complete and is expected to be handed over to government by May of next year. Project manager for the State House project, Meng Shuangnai, speaking through an interpreter, marketing manager Sammy Yi says work is now being done on completing external walls surrounding the building, along with other cosmetic work.
You can see now where we started the landscaping and the external wall work. The most external wall will finish around 85%, and the road will finish around 60%. So that is the current situation of this project.
Also forming part of the new State House project is the renovation of the old State House building, which will be converted into a conference center to host regional and international guests. We were told that physical work on that phase of the project will commence soon.
The older State House, because the government and the supervisor engineer request some different variation. So only the older State House we not start yet, but we will start that soon because all the design and the drawing is confirmed already. So we wanted our client and the Dominican government will be happy. So we will do make sure that the older State House is the perfect project. So I think in the future we will finish that is very history and nicely.
In addition to other interior fixes such as increasing entertainment space and improving overall functionality, the exterior of the old State House building will also be modernized to complement the aesthetics of the new State House building. The new State House project, according to Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, when complete, will signify Dominica's growth as an independent nation and pride for its people. The project, costing EC $27 million, is being financed through grant funds provided by the government of the People's Republic of China. In other news, Dominica's head of state, His Excellency Eliud Williams, a former permanent secretary in the Ministry of Health, is impressed with the improvements made in Dominica's healthcare services over the years. The president made that observation during his interaction with staff of the Marigot Health team during his Christmas visit on Wednesday.
Able to witness the kinds of improvements that have been made in the health services. Never mind, there will be those who tell you that not much has happened, but just the fact that there are so many nurses here today signifies that we are continually improving our health services and the delivery of health care.
Notwithstanding those achievements, however, the president says there is still room for improvement.
Because I have been on both sides. I have been a patient, inpatient, hospital. I have been outpatient. I use the services. I am in a position to tell you that there are still areas where improvements are required. Those of you who are in it on a daily basis will, I'm sure, readily appreciate this. But like most things, it takes time to be able to have all that you need to be able to deliver excellent care. But I must say, even with the limitations that we have in resources, I'm pleased to see that you continue to work hard and to do your best.
During his visit to the Marigot Hospital, the president, who was accompanied by his wife, had an opportunity to interact with staff as well as patients of the hospital. The president, in doing so, congratulated the staff of the hospital for a job well done. He cautioned them to continue to exercise the highest level of professionalism.
It's nice to know that we have a group of people here in Marigot Health District who are dedicated to take care of the 9,000 or so citizens who are entrusted to your care. You must always be ready, and that is sometimes some of the things that are not obvious to the onlooker, because a football game may be going on in Kalibishi now. One may be planned for Wesley a little later today. And lo and behold, there may be some accident, some fracture, something. There may be a fire and somebody has to come. So you have to be constantly on your guard, you have to be constantly ready, because when you least expect, there will be an emergency, there will be somebody requiring your attention, requiring your services.
The visit by the president to the Marigot Hospital was one of several visits made to several social and care institutions during this Christmas season. In more news, public servants are being called upon to be positive agents of change within the Dominican society. This call comes from former public servant Hannah Clarendon, who delivered the feature address at the Public Service Awards recognition ceremony last Friday. Clarendon charged public officers to approach change with an open mind, looking at the bigger picture. She says public officers have the time and talent and should be eager to bring something to the table in the process of change.
The now generation, the forever connected generation, how does that influence us? How do we participate? Do we stand aloof? Do we stand in the way of change? Do we frustrate the efforts of those who are trying to introduce change? When we have an idea to initiate change, how do we manage it? How do we see ourselves in terms of that change process? Are we the initiators? Are we the leaders? Are we the followers? Are we connecting the dots? Are we supporters, encouragers, or are we detractors? Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before we set about to initiate change, do we give thought to the following? Do we really need that change? How much will it cost? Can we afford it? What's in it for us? What it is that we need to do for ourselves? Are we in it for ourselves only? Who is going to be doing it? How will it be done? How will we involve others? Where to begin? Who will lead? Who will coordinate the change? What is my own area and circle of influence? And how do we bring about that table in terms of time and talent? What do we bring to it? Each of us have time and talents, and we should be bringing something to the table.
Clarendon also advised that the process of change will depend on external factors, and this will take time. She also spoke about the issue of good customer care within the public service and what is required for effective public sector reform.
No matter what we do in terms of public sector reform, in terms of the big changes, it boils down to the individual making that commitment to change. So when we call for good governance begins with me. When we call for efficiency, efficiency begins with me. When you call for good customer care begins with me. The individual has to take it in, imbibe, make it become personal, be committed to that change. We find that most of us, we go on a training program, but maybe only a few come back with a burning desire to do something about it. And you wonder, did we go to the same workshop? What happened to the other people? Only one or two come back with that burning desire to do something different. So we need to recognize that there is a big burden on the public administration to putting new things in place, to change the sector, but it comes back to the individual to make that commitment to bring about that change.
Clarendon is now on active retirement in Dominica following her stint as plant protection consultant in Ghana. In other news, a team comprising government representatives, DOASCO officials and finance experts went on a tour of the West Coast Water Supply Project on Wednesday. The tour began at the construction site of the Culibustri intake and ended in Capuchin, where all the pipes led. That expansive water project, when completed, will supply residents from as far as Salisbury in the west to Capuchin in the north with potable water. During the tour, GIS News spoke with the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Water Resource Management, Davis Later, who revealed that the West Coast Water Supply Project is one part of a wide social and economic strategy for the people of Dominica. He further explained in talk about a national water policy.
Currently, we are also trying to see, with all what we are doing now, how we can put together some kind of master plan. We have started with the water policy, which very shortly will be going to cabinet. And out of that, we are hoping that we can develop a more holistic plan for water, not just potable water and to bring water to homes, but also to look at varied uses of water and the significance of water to the economy and to social development in Dominica.
Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Water Resource Management, Honourable Ivor Stevenson, also spoke to GIS. He expressed how satisfying it was to be able to witness firsthand the demonstration of government's commitment to providing potable water to West Coast residents and Dominicans on a whole. As parliamentary representative for the Grand Forks constituency, Honourable Stevenson said he was reminded of his own area's ongoing water project.
And I can speak also specifically to the Grand Forks area, where I know similarly there is a project that is ongoing. A project is costing somewhere about $2.6 million, and so far the access road has been completed. So we're hoping to see works continuing, especially in the areas of the construction of the intake, and that will be followed by the supply line from the intake to the storage tank, a storage tank of about 60,000 gallons capacity, and a distribution system. So these are just some of the few projects that government continues to invest, especially in the area of water, so that the people of this country can be very, very comfortable, especially by way of water supply.
The West Coast water supply system will cost government $31 million. GIS News will bring you more from that tour in tomorrow's newscast. Another water project visited during that tour on Wednesday was the site of the Benz and Demay and Solda water supply system. Government made that pledge to the residents of those communities in July earlier this year and committed $2.9 million to the cause. The touring team on Wednesday saw firsthand the amount of activity ongoing to supply residents with reliable drinking water.
The people of Benz have been suffering for a long time, and government and DOASCO just recently, came together with the people and awarded 2 contracts for the Benz water system. The area we are now is the construction of the road leading to the intake. The intake is to be constructed on the river. You can see how difficult it is. If you look behind us, you'll see the forest, virgin forest, and roads have to be constructed throughout that forest for about 3 miles or so to the intake site. It involves crossing the river 12 times. So there has to be about 12 river crossings. We'll tracking and paving of some aspects of the road. Some areas are going to be very, very steep so that we can access the intake. The intake will be constructed on the river. There'll be a water treatment facility constructed there, and the pipe works to take the water from the intake to the water tank that we will see on our way down.
Etinoff clarified that work is nearing completion.
The storage tank is, I would say, probably 40–45% complete, going very, very, very well, and the pipe works about 80% complete at this stage throughout the village. So both Lot 1 and Lot 2 are ongoing simultaneously, and we are hoping that within another 9–10 months, the village of Benz would have a very, very good water system, Benz and Zemen and Solar.
Stuco Construction was awarded the contract for that water project. And finally, the American Embassy on Thursday handed over $10,000 to the Public Library Service towards the advancement of American literature locally. Representative of the Embassy, Michael Carver, in his remarks highlighted that the donation is not the commencement of the relationship between the American Embassy and the Public Library Service. The Library and Information Service established an American Corner at the Public Library in January 2011. The donation of $10,000, according to Carver, is a way of promoting American literature at the library.
Since 2011, we have invested over $43,000 in total for the purchase of books and DVDs. But the American Corner is more than that. This corner has played host to all kinds of events for Dominicans, both young and old, including a movie marathon of classic American movies, craft workshops, exhibitions on Black History Month, literature discussions with secondary school students, and book readings with primary school students. But of course, the success of the American Corner would not be possible without the staff.
Director of the American Corner at the Roseau Public Library, Davina Jones, accepted the donation on behalf of the Government Library and Information Service. She expressed her thanks.
On behalf of the Dominica Library and Information Service, I'd just like to say a big thank you to the American Embassy for this timely donation. This really goes a long way into help support our outreach program, and I'm just happy that it came at this time. Again, Mr. Carver, a big thank you to the American Embassy and to you. Thanks.
And that's the English segment of the news. We now join McPherson St. Luce for the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle créole. Non, moi c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, qui a fait parole que le gouvernement Dominique déjà financé $33 millions en projet géothermique. Honorable Skerritt fait parole cela pendant le contrat ici et puis une compagnie Iceland pour commencer à fouiller des trous, explorer produits là en Roseau Valley. C'est le Premier ministre Skerritt. Le gouvernement Dominique a fait ça en la globalisation qui existe dans la terre. Et des investissements là qui voient puis énergie du sang et puis nous qui aussi ça exporte Guadeloupe et puis la Martinique. Projet ça là pour fouiller ces détours là qui coûte $18 millions et qui est expecté pour commencer par juin l'année prochaine. En autre nouvelle, le ministre de l'Agriculture qui a implémenté quarantaine en l'occasion où la maladie citrus greening a affecté citron. Parole celle-là sorti officier quarantaine ministre de l'Agriculture Ryan Ansem.
Nous faisons un qui est on survey en Pointe-Michel. Ça, c'est consulté avec Sharon Jones qui a dit c'est nous pour garder Pointe-Michel bien sérieux parce que Pointe-Michel c'est en place là nous maladie aille. Nous pour garder Pointe-Michel bien sérieux parce que nous parlons pièces moun chaye bitin en Pointe-Michel et ça est hot Pointe-Michel ça c'est comment maladie a calé spread. So nous pour aller dans Pointe-Michel quarantine area avec couper ces plans qui n'est maladie pour nous garder comment nous ça pêcher maladie à la d'autres places parce que si en Pointe-Michel tout de suite qui a Mao Mao qui a l'école nous parler via syndicate so nous pour contenir maladie là avec Pointe-Michel avec place qu'on Wesley ces places ça là nous pour garder comment nous quarantine place là avec pêcher moun mener avec tirer plan hot ces places là.
Membre parlement pour Saint-Joe, Honorable Kelvin Darrow, bien plaisir pour faire contribution marchandise pour citoyens, organisations, moun à l'âge, communauté salant. Présentation là prend place pendant une cérémonie en mercredi. Honorable Darrow a aussi remercié l'occasion qui a assisté à faire donation là possible.
Mon plaisir, je garde tous les jours. Si je montre dans la politique, ce n'est pas pour faire un projet pour chimère, un projet comme l'école, avec ces projets là. Je pour rester connecté avec ces gens qui mettent moi là. C'est ça que je fais. Je vais apprecier ça que je fais. Pour mettre comme pour me faire des choses pour eux. Ce geste là, pour moi, il y a un chez moi, j'aime ces gens là. C'est ces gens là, ils font contribution au village Saint-Joe. Nous pouvons dire nous apprécions ça qu'on fait au Saint-Joe. Nous avons dit merci pour criticism pour Asta fans ou Starring and Sons. Ils ont assisté à un projet là. Même au Parlement Saint-Joe, il fait une généreuse contribution qui même. So nous avons dit tout comme merci et puis nous avons espéré pour nous continuer à travailler avec eux.
Et puis finalement, management solid waste Dominica conduit exercise où on a ramasser white goods. Ça c'est bagaille qu'on vit fridge, ordinateur et bagaille qu'on sent. Parole Sala sorti hors officier relations publiques Jane Jacob. Jacob fait parole Sala ba public là. Alors manière chaîne environ la propre empêcher vieille maladie.
Solid Waste a aussi continué le travail parce que ça nous a fait aussi, nous a tué en lot voiture, la valait 400 voitures au Mont Dominique. Nous avons continué à tirer vieux fridge, vieux stove, bien comme ça, je crois que c'est white good, hot place, village en Dominique. Nous avons session et puis village village council et puis nous aussi une collection schedule. Nous avons massé ces vieux voitures, ces vieux fridge là et puis nous avons dit pour qui est solid waste, travailler puis solid waste pour faire cette qui yo chaîne l'entour yo net. Nous aussi nous poubelle qu'avant et puis nous avons dit si yo chaîne zolis yo en poubelle, mawe zolis yo bien en sac, il pas que il n'y a pas autant de en place parce que watt là pas que ça on en poubelle là pour manger vis là ou ça vis qui là où est à manger pour servir ça qu'on place plus ça ouest et puis c'est vieux voiture aussi c'est place là watt ça ouest et puis nous dit aussi yo travailler puis solid waste yo même crier nous yo même aider nettoyer l'entour yo tirer ces vieux voiture monde qui ne vieux voiture parler puis yo ou ça autant fois nous connaître monde qui ne vieux voiture paquet solid waste faire certains ces monde plein forme là nous une forme là ça plein forme là pour bano droit pour tirer vieux voiture l'entour parler puis nous même qui travailler puis yo et puis faire certains qui nous tiennent Dominique net et puis propre et puis nous continuons à dire pas seulement pour monde touristes qui va venir Dominique mais premièrement pour santé nous monde Dominique certains qui Dominique ouest une île naturelle en paradis pour nous toutes.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nous en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson Saint-Luce. Qu'à souhaiter tout le monde un bon saison Noël. Au revoir.
Stay tuned for the tip of the day.
Together we build, together we strive. We see it all on your government information service, Channel 7. This is the Government Information Service, bringing you all that you need to know about all that's happening in your country's development. GIS, you and your channel.
In today's tip, we'll discuss what you can do to achieve a healthier lifestyle. It's this simple. Drink more water. Most of us actually don't drink enough water every day. Water is essential for our body to function. Water is needed to remove waste and carry nutrients and oxygen around our body. Also, get enough sleep. When you don't rest well, you compensate by eating more. Usually, it's junk food. Get enough rest and you don't need to snack to stay awake. Also, lack of sleep causes premature aging, and you wouldn't want that, would you? And that's National Focus. As usual, we invite your suggestions or comments. Please feel free to drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm, or you can visit our website at news.gov.dm. You can also look us up on our GIS Dominica pages on both YouTube and Facebook. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Pearl Fontaine. Thanks for watching.